What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction. Back with, at least for the time being, I believe the last For a Home on Friday. And we're going to listen to another one of his demos, which eventually became a track on a-ha's True North, specifically Bluest of Blue. So I enjoy the a-ha version in part because it has that Beatles sound, also because we hear multiple voices. I think all three of them sing across the course of the track. Maybe I'm not remembering that right, but definitely there's some sections where we hear more than just Morton's voice. I enjoy the string work in the track, and I'm curious, given that this is only a Mags demo, whether it'll have a notably different sound, in part because it'll just be a single voice. So yes, very curious to hear how different this will be from what ended up on a-ha's True North. Let's give it a listen. This is Mags. The track is Bluest of Blue, and it's a demo he did or put on Instagram prior to the a-ha album.
What you gonna hold against her now? Would you rather were to sing her praises, working from the stem right up to the bow, learning how to find her secret places? What you gonna say as they shut their eyes, yearning to remain in their good graces? Will you smell the sea? Will you see the sky? Painting on the young and hopeful faces, something to believe, somewhere to be free, a sanctuary at sea. Blue, blue as the bluest of hues in the sea as she sails on by. True, true, like the truest, the true in her eyes as she waves goodbye. True is the true, bluest of blue. How you gonna tell this story now? It's getting so much harder to cover bases. Say it like it is, or just feed the lies. Cover up the truth with your oily phrases. Something to believe, somewhere to be free, a sanctuary at sea. Blue, blue as the darkest of hues in the sea as you watch her cry. True, true like the saddest of truth in her eyes as she says goodbye. True is the truth, bluest of blue. Blue, blue as the darkest of hues in the sea as you watch her cry. True, true like the saddest of truth in her eyes as she says goodbye. True is the truth, bluest of blue. True is is the truth. Bluest of blue.
So yes, it feels in some ways quite similar to the Aha tune, especially in the latter half. Like when it gets a bit more energy and those strings come in, that feels very close to the Aha version. The first couple minutes felt a little more different, in that it had a bit more of a folksy feel, less of a I don't know, orchestral is not the right word, but like larger sonic sweep to it. It felt a bit more intimate. And maybe in part that's because of Mag's voice, but I do think his voice was layered here. It didn't quite have that, three voices harmonizing feel as the Aha version, but I do think there were multiple sections in this original demo version where there's multiple layers of Mag's voice like interweaving with each other, so it didn't feel as different in that regard as I expected. Maybe it did feel a little less Beatles-like, but ultimately I still think that general musical atmosphere is present. And yes, I just love the songwriting. I don't know if I commented that a lot in the Aha reaction, but there's clever turns of phrase with the blue and hue, and then talking about someone's eyes, and the way that the lines are crafted together, I think, is both very visual. They give me very clear images, but I think they're also good turns of phrase that happen to rhyme together in a way that allows the themes to be very coherent. So I think it's a very cleverly written song lyrically. And yeah, again, I think there's something to be said for hearing all of the Aha guys on their version of the track, but I think this demo was already in a great place and certainly would have worked on one of Mag's solo albums. So yeah, it's a top tune. It's cool to hear the way that tracks from the Aha catalog albums originated. So whether it's going through these demos that we've heard from Mags, or whether it's hearing the early demos, or even some workshop versions of tunes where eventually they were left off of the final album as I've gone through the bonus or deluxe edition material from Aha. It's just cool to hear their creative process and to see which songs eventually made it through, how they were changed when they did, which songs stayed as demos and were sort of put on the shelf for a long time until they were released as part of deluxe edition later releases of tracks, or rather of albums. So yeah, it's just wonderful to see the larger Aha creative process, and shout out to Mags for his part in that. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. Thanks to all the folks who've continued to follow the For a Home on Fridays. I hope this isn't the last one forever, but ultimately, in the moment, I don't think there's anything else immediately on the cards for reactions. But I will continue with the Aha reactions on Sundays. There's at least a few more re-recorded songs from the Savoy journey that we'll be doing on Wednesdays. So yeah, stay with me, Aha family who is still here, and I very much appreciate you. Let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.